Hey guys, Avery here with Skip's Tactical Solutions, and I'm here with another episode of Talk to Me Thursday. As you guys come on, please let me know where you're joining from, and let me know how your day is going. Hello to every single one of you that are already in the chat. As you guys come on, I would love for you to hit the thumbs up, and I will also love for you to let me know where you are joining from. Just really quick, what we're going to be talking about tonight, we're going to be talking about the importance of carrying a firearm. We'll also be talking about things for you to consider doing a active shooter situation and also emergency medical. So as you guys come on, if you have any questions, please make sure that you comment them below. And if there's anything that you guys want to discuss, I'm all ears and I would love to discuss it. And as always, this is a two-way street. I want to know what you guys think. I want to have discussions with you guys, and I appreciate every single one of you for joining tonight. Something else that I want to say really quick is for all of you parents that have kids going back to school, good luck. I was a tad bit late tonight because we had our back to school orientations tonight. So if you guys don't know, I do have 2 kids, and yeah, it was fun. So I think the first thing that and another thing is make sure that you stay tuned until the end of this video, because as always, we will have a giveaway. And if you give me a minute, I will let you know who won last week's giveaway. Something that I will be talking about tonight is the El Paso and the Dayton, Ohio shooting. And I know these are tough subjects. These are the last things that I want to talk about, but I feel like they're extremely important, and we need to talk about these types of situations because we need to learn from these situations. So if you really don't have the stomach for it, feel free to hop out and hop back in. But I think it's really important that we share our views, our thoughts, and just help each other out so that we can learn from these types of situations. So Marv, I said for you to send me a message on your side so that I can get you one made. I have to go with a different company because the company that I was originally with, we had to break up. So I'll be going with a new company. So I wanted you to let me know what size you were so that I could get a couple made for you guys who were so Second Liberty brought up a really good point. So before I get into what I was going to talk about, Second Liberty Gun Club said, "Where's the outrage about the mass stabbing that happened in California yesterday? You know, the state with the toughest gun laws. Have you guys seen anything about that?" And then he also said, "The media is quiet about that." And then also, what do you guys think about that as well? So I would love for you to send this video to someone that you think may enjoy it, or someone that you think may not enjoy it. But I would love for you guys to hit the share and share this with someone. You can share it on your social media pages as well. And last week's giveaway was Glock hat and also CMC koozie. Two of my favorite companies. And the winner for that is jmonty1738. So jmonty1738, please send me a message to any of my social media pages so that we can get this shipped out to you. So make sure that you send me your address and your real name, because I don't want to ship it out to J Monty. But make sure that you stay tuned until the end of this video, because you can win something if you're on the live. And then there will also be another giveaway that you will be able to enter, and that will be announced next week. All right. So we have some stickers that we're going to be giving away, and I'll show those to you guys later. But yeah, make sure that you stay tuned. So there was a... Hold on. So Marv said, I heard about the stabbing. There was almost another shooting in Houston, but a 19-year-old grandmother called the cops, and they stopped the almost massacre at a hotel. So I think it's really important that we let all these things be known, because, you know, they are definitely attacking our gun rights. And when it comes to people that are going to do these things, they're going to find something to do it with. Like there was the stabbing. And the states that have these strict gun laws, they're still having crimes. Like they're still, like, I mean, look at Chicago. It's like a war zone out there, and they have some strict gun laws. So I want you guys to make sure that you stay tuned to the news and try to educate your friends and family members that quite don't understand it. Because I do have people that talk to me and they say, you know, oh, they need to ban this and they need to ban that. And they're really misinformed. So if you constantly hear certain things, you may start to believe that they're true if you're not hearing straight facts from the other side of it. So I think it's really important that we try to educate people, because if they're just constantly hearing it from that side, that's what they're going to think, because you don't know what you don't know. All right, so first we're going to talk about the El Paso and the Dayton, Ohio shootings. I have had a few people reach out to me and ask me about certain scenarios, and I think it's really important that we just state that all scenarios are going to be different. And oh, by the way, I give you guys recommendations, but what I say is not word. Just know each situation is going to be completely different, and each person is going to interpret different things differently. So it's very important that you think through some of these things in your head, and just imagine that you were in that situation and what you would do, and also just think about some of the places that you frequent. So I have some notes that I'll be looking at, but when it comes to the El Paso shooting, you know, anyone with a concealed license, maybe, do you know if they saw him in the parking lot? And if you did see someone in the parking lot, right, and they had a firearm, does that necessarily mean that they were committing a crime? So I want you guys to really think about that. You could see me with a firearm walking into a store, and it may not be properly stored, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to commit a crime. So that's another reason, though, you always have to be aware of your surroundings. Because if you were, say, and we're talking about mainly like the El Paso right now, say if you're walking into Walmart, right? And a lot of times nowadays, people are looking down at their phones. They're not aware of their surroundings. But if you're not aware of your surroundings, someone could literally walk past you and have a gun, and you may not have even noticed it because you're not paying attention. So this is another reason why we have to be very aware and observant when we're out in public, because you don't know what's going on around you if you're really not paying attention. But what would you do if you saw someone? Because I know if it were me, I would definitely make sure that I'm watching this person, right? And I'm going to take a position of cover, and I'm going to see how they're reacting and what they're doing. And if they start to get aggressive, then I'm going to have to follow certain steps. So what do you guys think about if you were somewhere and you were to see someone and they just had a gun, I mean, and it also depends where you are, because that's something else that I wanted to state very, very quickly in this video is different states have different laws. That's very important. Different states have different laws. So if you are in a state that has open carry, you may not necessarily think twice if you were to see someone walk into a place and they had their firearm out. So I want to make sure that, because another thing I wanted to let you guys know, there are people of different, I guess I'll say backgrounds, right? Everybody is not at the same level when it comes to firearms, and I've been reminded of this recently when it comes to my videos. So sometimes I may talk at a very basic level, but it's because I know that, I mean, there's people who watch my videos who are at a very basic level and don't understand some of the things that I'm saying. So I just want to make that be known that sometimes I'm talking basic, but it's because I want to make sure that everyone can pick up what I'm putting down. But like I said, you know, open carry, it's legal in certain states. So you have to also be aware of where you are and what's allowed, because if it's allowed, that doesn't mean that that person is going to do something bad. You just have to make sure that you pay attention and kind of, I mean, if you want to, you can observe them. And if they start to look like they're going to do something aggressive, like if they had it slung on their back and then now they're slinging it around their shoulder and it's like now they're looking like they're going to load it, it's like, okay, so what's really going on? And you want to make sure that you alert the authorities. When you alert the authorities, you want to make sure that you have some type of cover. And Two Gun Kitty just said, we'll try to safely follow them and point out if law enforcement, arrives. You want to take note of what this individual is wearing, what they look like, right? So when law enforcement comes, they know who the threat is, because if it's like, oh, there was a guy with a gun or there was a girl with a gun, by the time they arrive, what if there's 2 or 3 people who were concealed carry holders and were trying to stop the threat? So just make sure that you get some pertinent information that you can pass over to 911. And you also want to make sure that with your phone, you're not just holding your phone here, right? Because if you're just holding your phone, then you're taking away your hands and now you're not able to do what you need to do. So this is another reason why you have to stay alert. Keep your phone with you. You need to be able to contact people if you need to contact them, all right? So as a concealed carry holder, I want you to remember that you're always allowed to, well, depends on where you are. I know here in Florida, we are definitely allowed to act in self-defense, and we are able to stand our ground here. I'm not saying if you saw someone with a firearm that you're going to just shoot them. That is wrong. You cannot do that. You have to make sure that you're positively identifying someone that is causing harm to someone else. But different states have different laws. Make sure that you know the laws for the state that you reside in and also states that you frequently visit, because it is very important that you know what another state allows, because, oh, I didn't know, or it was a mistake, won't be tolerated. Here in Florida, when it comes to a gun crime, they're felonies. So, oh, I forgot, or oh, I thought, that's really not going to work. But you have to just immediately take action. And that's why you want to think about these things. You're going to alert the authorities, but you're going to want to make sure that you have some distance between you and that individual, and you want to have some kind of cover. And then let's see what else. Whenever you see that this individual is a threat, I think it's very, very important for you to know what is happening. It is taking a good guy or girl with a gun, right, to stop these people. So a good guy with a gun is stopping a bad guy with a gun. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back that didn't quite hear me. A good guy with a gun is stopping a bad guy with a gun. I'm not saying that a bad guy with a gun has been stopped with a prayer. Like, you have to have a way to defend yourself. And I mean, you're going to be able to defend yourself against these people with a firearm. And you also want to make sure that you're alerting others that may be around, because if other people are nonchalantly just standing around talking, not paying attention, then they could get hurt because they're not paying attention to their surroundings. So Richard said, like here in Arizona, almost everywhere you go, you see someone open carrying and a lot more concealed carry. Two Gun Kitty said, U.S. Law Shield has numerous seminars each month where you can ask a lawyer and law enforcement about the local laws and how and when you can use force. And Second Liberty Gun Club said, Maryland has no self-defense law. Another thing that I think we need to talk about very early in this video is the fact that you don't ever want to shame someone for not protecting themselves. You do not ever want to shame someone. So I like to educate people on defending themselves, but I will never shame someone on not defending themselves. All right, guys? Because when you shame people, that doesn't really make people want to protect themselves. It just typically pisses them off, right? But I think right now with these current situations, like this is the perfect time for us to educate people on why they should be protecting themselves, on why we decide to protect ourselves. And if we need to help them move a little bit closer to being comfortable or work through why ever they don't want to protect themselves, then I feel like that's our job to help them with that, all right? And if you're someone who has been on the fence about protecting yourself, then I think you really need to look at these situations and think about what would you do, because it's taking for someone to come in with a firearm and stop these people. And I'm not really one to put my safety in someone's hands when I can try to control what's going on. So if I were you, I would definitely think twice about what your hangup is on protecting yourself, because there are just way too many things that are going on. And I mean, just over the weekend, it was just way too much. And I want you to take notice of some of the places that you may frequent, because I don't know about you guys, but how many, I mean, I in the live tonight, who really goes to Walmart? Or just within the last 30 days, how many of you have been to a Walmart? Because, I mean, that hits home for so many people, because, I mean, we go to a Walmart, we go to an outdoor place and have fun. I mean, the garlic festival. I mean, how many of you have been to some sort of outdoors festival? These things are happening way too often. And another thing is, they're happening in places where they feel like people will not be able to protect themselves. And if you haven't done a little backstory on some of these shootings, I mean, the one in Dayton, Ohio, you're not allowed to carry if you are drinking alcoholic beverages, and you're also not allowed to carry if you are in an establishment that their primary business is serving alcohol. So for the people who are at a bar, they're not going to be able to defend themselves because they shouldn't have a gun in there, right? And then for the El Paso shooting, he targeted that place because he felt as if the individuals within that place would not be able to defend themselves. So, like Second Liberty Gun Club said, a lot of soft targets. These types of people are obviously cowards, but they're able to inflict so much harm because they're there's not immediately someone there that can defend themselves. And I just really, really want you to think how you would react if you encounter an active shooter. And I know I saw someone here say it earlier, but if you haven't really thought about a lot of these things, then when you do encounter a situation like this, the first thing that you're probably going to do is freeze. And if you freeze, then you may get killed. So think about the places that you frequent and think about what you would do. And in my classes that I teach, I talk about how there's certain places that I frequent and I know where the exits are. And I mean, when I'm walking into these establishments, I'm scanning and I'm seeing who else is there. And I'm thinking about, okay, well, if someone were to come in that door, then I know my vehicle is parked over here. And I know that I do have something on me where I can protect myself, or I don't have something on me that I can protect myself. Because let's be honest, you cannot always carry, but I do carry as often as I can. And another thing that I want you to remember is that cops respond to crimes. You do not have a cop that is going to be in your back pocket 24/7. And if you do, then you got lots of money. But the average person does not have a cop in their back pocket. And if something were to happen, you are literally your own first responder. And for everyone who is watching this, I really want you to think about what I just said. You are your own first responder. So think about that. If something were to happen, who is the first person that's on scene? You're the first person that's on scene. It's you and then the person who tried to harm you, right? So it's you, the person that tried to harm you. You have to call the cops in order for them to come. But so often I hear people say that that is their option. Oh, well, I'm just going to call the cops. Well, what if you're shot and you can't call the cops? So you're your own first responder and you need to be able to have a way to defend yourselves. Cops are responding to crimes. And what was very, very critical about the shooting in Ohio is they were very, very close to the scene. They were able to stop the threat within like a minute of it happening. And I don't know if you guys were able to see some of the videos that were captured, but he was literally stopped right before he was about to enter, I think it was a bar or whatever, an establishment where a lot of people had ran into. So those seconds, if he would have been able to enter that establishment, think about how many people could have been killed. So seconds count. They make a huge difference. And I want you to be able to protect yourself. I want you to be able to protect those around you. And if you don't have a means to protect yourself that can counter what it has, then what are you going to do? I was going to say you're going to be up Shit's Creek, but I didn't want to cuss, but I just kind of cussed. But I think it's really important that you think about those types of things, because a lot of the times we don't want to call the baby ugly, right? If the baby's ugly, you don't want to call the baby ugly. But we're legit talking about life or death here. And if you can defend yourself or your family, then you need to be armed with a way to protect yourself and your family. So Froggy Frog said, how do you defend yourself? How do you defend against an active shooter without the cops mistaking you for the shooter? So what I think is really important is we make sure that we communicate with 911 when we're making that phone call, right? So if you are making a phone call, then I want to make sure that I am able to communicate who I am, right? And what I look like. Because if bullets are flying, right, and we obviously have an active shooter, then I mean, I don't know what the cops are thinking, but I mean, there's bullets flying, so they got to be thinking a whole bunch of stuff, right? They want to stop the threat. But I recommend to my students when they are calling in that they are describing what they look like. And if you can describe what the shooter looks like, then you need to describe what the shooter looks like. And you don't want to just be standing out in the open. You want to be behind some type of cover, if you can, some type of concealment, but you need to be able to positively identify who you are. And then once you see that they're getting closer, I mean, if that person's still not shooting, then you need to put your firearm away and be able to communicate with the police officers. Oh, Two Gun Kitty, thank you. And another thing is, I mean, that was a great question, but you have to communicate because you can't assume that the cops are going to know who is good and who is bad. So put your phone on speakerphone if you can call in, or if you, and that's also another time where if you see someone else is taking cover or you know they're laying down on the ground, you can give them a command to, hey, call 911 if you have your firearm and you're able to try to control that situation. Do that. But I think you have to make, not I think you absolutely should communicate because they're not going to know who you are versus the other person. But that's very, very important. And just whenever you're able to, as soon as you can, put your firearm away. Um, let's see what else. But I think what's really important is just to make sure that you are taking a position of cover. You don't want to be standing out in the open, kind of like it's the wild, wild west. You want to be somewhere to where if someone is firing back towards you, your position, that you can have that cover. We will try to post up some things later this week about cover versus concealment. Some people may not know the difference, but it's really important that you protect yourself. And Richard Hartman said, what's the old saying? When seconds count, cops are minutes away. That is so very true. All right, so another thing that we're going to talk about tonight is emergency medicine. How many of you guys have had any type of emergency medical training? So, J.R. Tinman said the Birmingham Mall, good guy shot by police. So I don't remember exactly what happened at that scene, but I know sometimes when cops are responding, I'm not defending anyone because I absolutely can't remember what happened, but when cops are responding, if they can't positively identify who the gunman is, then they may possibly shoot the wrong person. So that's why it's very important to make sure that once you have stopped the threat, that you put your gun away, and especially if you see cops are now starting to respond, you put your gun away so that you can interact with cops and let them know that you're not the threat. All right, so for those of you who are responding, and if you've received any medical training, thank you so much. So I'm going to be honest here, and don't get mad at me when I say this. All the gun people are going to be like, be quiet, Skip. A lot of people want to put rounds down range and they want to go to the range and shoot, right? But what is a possibility that someone may be somewhere, right, and may have a wound, right, and need some help on one of those scenes? So let's say, for instance, if there was an active shooter and you are barricaded inside, say, a Walmart, right? If you're not barricaded, but let's say you're inside a Walmart and someone had a gunshot wound, the possibility of them bleeding out before they can get any kind of medical assistance is large, right? So you want to be well versed in emergency medical. So I do have a class that someone shared with me that is an online class that people can take for free. I can't remember if it was I can't remember what class it was. I'll post it so that you guys can see. But, excuse me, I did a post a couple weeks ago, I think, and someone shared a resource for some free medical training. So, excuse me, regardless of what level it is on, it's always good to have some sort of training. But so many people are really focused on making those bullet wounds right, but sometimes you may need to know how to plug and patch those bullet wounds. So if it may be you, it may be your family member, it may be a friend. I mean, what's the possibility of something happening like that just at a range? So I think it's really important that we get some medical training, and it is a very paramount survival skill. Aaron, what area are you in? And when it comes to active shooter, the medical team may be minutes away, and those minutes could be minutes that someone's bleeding out. So I have some things that I'm going to go over with you guys tonight, but I definitely want to get someone I have someone from the medical field that I want to get on to talk to you guys, because I think those are really, really important skills that we all need to have. And sometimes we just really don't focus on those things because they're not the sexy things, right? But we need to like put a ton of tools in our toolbox because we never know when we're going to need those. And it just takes a couple seconds for people to die from mass hemorrhaging. And when it comes to emergency medical, you should receive that training just as you receive additional firearms training. So those of you who are watching, have you ever taken any sort of professional firearms training? And if you're watching right now, while I'm waiting on you guys to answer that, if you can hit the thumbs up button on this video if you are enjoying this video, and I would love it if you would share this with someone as well. All right, so the reason why I asked if you guys have been able to take firearms training, because if you've taken firearms training, it is important for you to add some medical training under your belt as well. Very, very important, all right? So I'm going to show you guys some things, and I want you to tell me if you know what it is. So Second Liberty said, I do carry an IFAK on me, and I do know how to use it. Big props up to Second Liberty for carrying the IFAK and knowing how to use it. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to show you guys, sorry, I'm talking kind of fast tonight, is this. Do you guys know what this is? Other than my nails that need a fill-in, what is this? All right, so tourniquet. We had quite a few people in the comments that were able to positively identify what this is. So when it comes to a tourniquet, it's going to be one of the most important pieces of medical equipment that you can carry with you. And it's small. I mean, you guys, how small it is. I mean, this is my hand. It's lightweight. And this is something that can essentially save your life or the life of one of your loved ones, all right? So a tourniquet is something that you should have with you, and it's important for you to have more than one because you can have them in your go bag, you can have them to have on your person, but when it comes to a tourniquet, it can definitely save someone's life. One of the most popular and trusted tourniquets is the CAT tourniquet, and that's going to be the combat application tourniquet. Let me see if you guys can see it. Here. And I also have some directions. And a tourniquet is going to be used to treat bleeding from extremities. So, CAT tourniquet, very, very important. When it comes to a tourniquet, it's important to have one, right? We already established that. It's also important for you to be able to know how to properly apply a tourniquet. And it's also very important for your family members to know how to use it and also know where you store your tourniquets as well. Because say if you were to get injured, the possibility of someone else having to apply it for you is there, right? And you want them to know where it is. So tourniquets, very, very important. It can stop someone from bleeding out. And let's see what else. When it comes to carrying them, the best place for you to carry these are going to be on your person, on your belt, your torso area, and never use your sleeves or pockets to store ankles because if something happens to that limb, you want to be able to get to that tourniquet. That's very important. And like I said earlier, these are used for your extremities. And like Tremaine Johnson said, going to a class and you will be amazed at what a simple Google search will show you. Look and see if there are places within where you reside that do training on this, because there's a lot of free training that's out there. Something else that you can use. So let's say, for instance, you left your tourniquet at home, right? Or, for instance, you don't have a tourniquet, right? You could also use a belt, but you also need to know how to be trained. You need to get trained to know how to use these things. But you could use a belt. You could also use ratchet straps. And these are just improvised ways that you could stop bleeding if you don't have a tourniquet, all right? But you want to use something that's going to be wide. You see how wide this is? You want to use something that's going to be wide because you don't want to use something kind of like, I don't have any examples. I normally have like a ton of examples here to show you guys. Like, oh, look at this. You don't want to use something like shoe laces. You want to use something that's going to be wide, not like rope. Yeah, shoestring. And I just want to stress that doing these things improperly can definitely cause death. All right? You don't want to do these things improperly. But learning would be another tool for your tool belt. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm all about adding new tools to my tool belt. And if you have not learned how to do it, it's just another good skill to have. And I see a couple people mentioning belts. Sorry if I didn't mention that before. I thought I did. Next thing that we're going to talk about is some quick clot. And quick clot is combat gauze, and this is going to be used to treat traumatic bleeding. And these are going to be in areas that you can't use a tourniquet, like groin or neck. All right. So when it comes to your neck, do you guys know why you wouldn't want to use a tourniquet? Just a quick pop quiz. I mean, if you guys fail, it'll be okay. We're in a learning environment. You guys are like, she's not funny. Thank you so much, Yarn Dragon. You answered the question correctly. So when it comes to areas like groin and neck, you want to use some combat gauze. And you're going to pack the gauze in the wound. And I'm not going to open it and show you because I don't want to use mine. Oh, Yarn Dragons, I had asked if anyone knew why we would want to use combat gauze for a neck wound versus a tourniquet. Why we would not want to put a tourniquet around a neck wound. But I guess my joke was not funny and no one heard the question. Demont said, I'm a certified EMT. I take them from my supply department. Can you send me some? So, sorry. I don't know if you guys heard my lame joke. It wasn't funny. But I was saying, you know, you're going to use this on the neck versus a tourniquet because you don't want to suffocate someone, all right? So these are going to be used on extremities, and then these are going to be used on areas like your groin or neck. All right. Let's see. So Demont, can you give us your thoughts on using tampons. Sorry, I lost the question. Using tampons to pack wounds. I've been told that they don't work effectively, but we would love to know your thoughts. All right, so we talked about tourniquets. We talked about combat gauze, quick clot. What is something else that you guys think that we may want? And I think this is, excuse me, so Demont said, work with whatever you have until you get what you need. So you guys are naming some really good things. I didn't want to make this, if you don't have anything else, you can use it. I didn't want to make this a lot. Sorry. I didn't want to make this too long onto medical because I do want to definitely do a go bag. I want to do med kit that you guys should definitely have with you. You never know what can happen to you. You never know what can happen to a family member. And I know as an instructor, I always have a med kit with me because you never know what's going to happen with the student. And especially when you tell your students, don't put your hand there, don't put your hand there. And then they put their hand there and then now they're bleeding. But the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is really bandages, all right? So, oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. So it's really bandage. It's going to be an elastic dressing that's going to be able to help you to apply pressure to wounds. And you can put this on top of the combat gauze. Can you guys see that? So it's really bandage. You guys, I don't know if you can see it here. It says the emergency bandage, trauma wound dressing, hemorrhage control bandage. So let's say you've put this quick clot in there, combat gauze, and now you can dress it with this. What? So Second Liberty said, I ordered one from Amazon and it was fake. All right, so the reason why I thought it was extremely important to go over emergency medicine with you guys tonight is because there is a possibility that, I mean, you don't even have to be in an active shooter situation. It could be a mishap at the range. It could be anywhere. And you may need to attend to someone who may be bleeding out and you need to stop the bleeding. And when it comes to bleeding, someone can bleed out very, very quickly. All right. So we talked about the cat tourniquet. And how many of you would be interested in doing kind of like a go bag, medical bag series? But we went over the combat application tourniquet. We went over the quick clot. Sorry, guys. Your girl is tired. And then it's really bandage. I try to make sure I show you guys properly. what is the possibility of like getting into a car accident or who just said it? Demont said, I carry a jump bag in my truck and my motorcycle. Motorcycle. People get in motorcycle accidents. Anything can happen. And I think it's really important for you guys to know some of these basic things. I know there were quite a few other things that were recommended by other people watching the live, but please feel free to interact with each other. Definitely good for you to have some gloves. Definitely good for you to have some shears. But if you don't have a medical bag or medical kit, I think it's extremely important for you to make this a priority. Another thing that I want to talk about is when it comes to your safety, and I just did a podcast this week. It was late, so I do apologize, guys. But how many of you were able to listen to my podcast this week? It was a solo mini episode, so I tried not to make it too long. But we make things that are a priority to us a priority. So if your personal safety is not a priority, then you're not going to make it a priority. I want you all to be proactive in your when it comes to your safety versus being reactive. All right? So it's really, really important for us to learn from history. All right? And I mean, we just had some past shootings, and like we said, that could have been any of us. And here, the local Walmart that I frequent all the time, they just on Sunday. So Sunday morning was the Ohio shooting. Sunday, I'll say afternoon, but I think it was before afternoon. Sometime Sunday, we had an active shooter threat called into our local Walmart. I don't know about you guys, but there's nowhere that I feel like I am very, very safe to not carry a firearm with me. Those of you who know my occupation, you know that I cannot carry my firearm with me during the day. Well, at work with me. Some of you guys can, some of you cannot. If you can carry your firearm with you, I would highly, highly suggest that you carry it with you. It's very important for you to know your why. And I was running errands with, I'm going to share this with you guys. I don't think I shared it when I did the live the other day. No, I didn't. So me and my son was running errands this week, and we were sitting down and we were having lunch. And on the TV, they showed there was like a local bank robbery, right? And it was like in the middle of the day. I mean, you're literally not safe anywhere nowadays. And we have been running errands in that area where the bank robber happened. But he carjacked someone and he killed the person that he carjacked. And I haven't really looked further into the story much, but I mean, that could have been any of us. And you just don't know when these types of things are going to happen. And so that day, me and my son, we went to Walmart. we went to Walmart to get some clothes hangers. And before we went into the store, so we parked, and I grabbed my purse, and my son, so I have two. My youngest is 10. He was with me, and he was like, you got your stuff? And I was like, what stuff? He was like, your stuff to protect us. And I was like, oh yeah, I got my stuff. And he's like, okay. So he's like, all right, we can go in the store. And he's like, well, we're going to be protected if we go in here. So mom's got her stuff. And it's quite sad that kids are thinking about those types of things nowadays, right? But I think it's very important that we're just protecting ourselves and we're protecting our loved ones as well. But it wasn't funny, but he was just like, oh, you got your stuff? And he's like, oh, we're going to be protected in here. And I mean, how many of us frequent Walmarts? Like, I know the Walmart that I went in was like bananas at that time because people were buying school supplies, but you just never know. And I want you all to be prepared because let's just be honest. There's so many people that are filled with hate that are doing these things. These are not people who are like, oh, I love everyone and I'm just having a bad day. These are people who are intentionally planning on killing people. They have plans. If you think that no more people are going to die, you're wrong. People are getting stabbed. People are getting shot. People are getting ran over by vehicles. It's not the guns that are the problems. It is the people who are out here with hate in their heart and they are willing to kill people. And they don't care. So if you think you're exempt, I want to let you know right now that you're wrong. I really hate to talk to people like this sometimes, but you got to be honest. None of us are exempt. There are people who want to hurt us based on our sex, based on our religion, and based on our skin color. So think about that. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not looking to become anyone's victim. I will definitely go down protecting myself and those around me. And we have to learn from history. We absolutely have to learn from history. And if you're not willing to protect yourself, you are putting your safety in the hands of someone else. And Demont just said, no respect for life. Absolutely. Everyone's life is valuable. Marv said, heartless individuals, and Two Gun Kitty said, can't legislate hate and evil. Absolutely. Something that Tom said that I want to say as well. Tom Jefferson said, if you can make holes, you should know how to plug them as well. I completely agree with that. Very, very important. And something else that I want to say, and I don't really talk about this very often, but I know there are a lot of minorities who do not take action on protecting themselves. I know in the past that there has been issues with African Americans and firearms and what we can and cannot do. It's not like that anymore. So we have to protect ourselves. I know my ancestors worked so hard for me to be able to protect myself. Why would I absolutely put my protection in someone else's hands? These are rights that if we don't fight for them, they sadly may be taken away one day. And I see a lot of people who, there was the singer Tank. Was it Tank? I think it was Tank. So before there were laws put into place so that African Americans, it would make it harder for African Americans to own firearms. No, he's not a rapper. He's a singer, Tank. He did a video and he talked about how these people just have hate in their heart and it's going to take someone with a firearm to stop someone with a firearm, right? And that's what it's taking. So if you are not willing to protect yourself, just know you're putting your life in someone else's hands, and that other person, you don't know how far away they're going to be. You don't know a lot of things. So just what Second Liberty Gun Club just said, political brainwashing. These guns are not doing these crimes. And these criminals will find a way to get a gun. They will find a way to get a gun. And I'm going to post that video tomorrow. I thought it was a really good video. I just think it's really important, and I hate to be on kind of like a soapbox, but I feel like, and I do get on my soapbox sometimes. I know you guys are like, oh, here she go. But I think it's really important that we educate each other on the importance of just protecting our lives, because you only get one, and we're not out here like these cats that got like 9 lives. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm all about having a good conversation. If you guys want to, and I have a Facebook group as well, if you guys want to have a discussion, let's have a discussion. But I think it's time that we bring more people into the Second Amendment community. We educate more people on personal protection and situational awareness, because sometimes you may be able to see some of these things and avoid these situations ahead of time. Sometimes you can't, like sometimes people just don't see it. But it's really important that we help each other and we don't criticize each other when it comes to this. Something else that I don't do is, your budget is your budget. You could come to my class with a high point and I will train you on how to use that. I'm not going to shame you on what you own. I'm not going to shame you on anything, because everybody has their journey. And if that's all you can afford at that time, that's all that you can afford. But we have to educate people and bring more people into personal protection. I've seen so many people say, oh, well, no, I don't want my wife to go to the store by herself. I don't want my this to do that. And my wife this. And it's like, I hate to be this person, but you're not going to be able to be in your wife's back pocket 24/7 and vice versa. So each person needs to know how to properly protect themselves, because you never know. Like, so if the husband is the one that is doing all the protecting, what if he gets shot first? You need to know how to get that firearm. If he was carrying but he got shot first, now you need to be able to know how to get the firearm, and now you're going to be in charge of protecting yourself and your family. How many of you think that, that may possibly happen? Like, that's a complete scenario that could happen. Let me see what you guys are saying. So Tom said, I despise when you say YM, I'm gonna think that you're referring to Yankee Marshall, but respect what he's doing with giving guns to those in need. But he is very annoying. Yarn Dragon said, I'm going to say this. If Walmart does that, I will definitely not be shopping there, because that no gun sign will not stop the criminal from taking a gun in that store. Second Liberty said, stand tall and speak loudly. JR said, criminals don't follow directions of signs. Texas, that sign won't stop a crazy guy. Two Gun Kitty said, they do have armed security though. Ricardo said, say it again. I'm sorry, I love the hubs dearly, but I am the first one up and grabbing the gun when I hear that noise. The best gun to use to defend yourself is the one you have a hand. Yeah, so the only people that are following these laws are law-abiding citizens. Like, the people who are going out committing these crimes, they're not like, oops, I can't carry a gun in here. They're not doing that. They're going places where they intentionally know that there will be, they won't be met with resistance. Let me see. There was something I was going to say, but I have forgot. But I mentioned this in my podcast episode. I'm not quite sure if you guys heard the podcast episode, but I think it's really important for you to now educate those individuals that you love. There are I have people reach out to me. So I did a YouTube live the other night, and then I posted it on my personal Facebook page. So I posted it on my personal Facebook page because I don't have a lot of people on my personal Facebook page, like in my personal life, who do not carry guns, right? I don't preach to a lot of people because that's just not me. I'm going to tell you what I think, and sometimes we're just going to agree to disagree, and it is what it is. But I posted on my personal Facebook page because I thought if one person could watch my video talking about why I carry in those shootings, that it was very, very important for them to just hear what I'm saying, because they know me on a personal level. They don't know me as Skip's Tactical Solutions, right? They know me as Avery, and they know me as a mom, and they know me as a friend or a mother, a wife. So I thought it was really important for me to share that message on my personal page. And I think that's how you need to talk to your friends and family that may not understand the seriousness of it, because let's be quite frank, it is extremely serious. People are dying. People are going out to have fun. People are running to Walmart really quick to get an ingredient or to pick up something really quick, right? And they're dying. So we have to take this serious. And we can't say, oh, that will never happen to me, because we don't know. These things are happening everywhere. And it may not be at a Walmart, but it may be someone who is breaking into your home. And I saw someone on my YouTube channel had posted that his gun had saved his life. And I asked him how. And he said that he was getting ready to leave and I think run to a store and grab something, and someone tried to harm him in his driveway, and he was able to stop that person. So, I mean, these things are happening so many places, and I would absolutely hate to hear that something has happened to any one of you. So, or someone that you love, even if it's your frenemy. We all got frenemies, but we want them to protect themselves as well. Because when these bad guys are coming into these establishments, we want them to be met with a good guy with a gun, or girl, good person with a gun. And there's so many good people that stop these people from doing bad things, but sometimes there's no good person with a gun close by, and so they can't stop these bad people when they're doing things, all right? So I want you to know that there are people who are filled with hate. There are people who want to hurt you, and you cannot let them hurt you. You have to be prepared to defend yourself. And something else that I want to talk about tonight is consistency. You have to consistently carry. You have to consistently be in the mindset that you want to protect yourself. And even if you have to find a different outfit to wear, I'll talk about that in my concealed carry class too. Sometimes it's like, I want to wear this, but how am I going to carry in this? And it's like, okay, well, maybe I'll carry this way, or maybe I'll just change my outfit. But what's more important to you? You have to make sure that you make your safety a priority. So consistently carry. Don't only carry when you think that you may encounter a threat. You want to carry all the time, because you don't know when it's going to happen. I can promise you, all those individuals who were injured or killed over the past weekend, or any person that has been involved with an active shooter, if they would have known that they would have encountered that deranged lunatic, do you think that they would have went to wherever it was that they met that active shooter? No. So you never know when you're going to encounter these people. So make sure that you are consistently caring to protect yourself. Oh, yeah. This can be like a whole argument on this live. So I'll say it because who brought it up? Tremaine Johnson brought it up, guys. So I think it's very important. But a lot of people feel a certain type of way about this. But Tremaine Johnson said, carry, but also carry one in the chamber. When I say carry, if it is a firearm that you're using for personal protection, that always comes with the assumption that you are carrying with a round in the chamber. All right, you're carrying with a bullet already loaded in your chamber. So therefore, when you encounter a threat, all you have to do is get your firearm out of your holster and use it. All right. But if you don't have your firearm loaded, there's a possibility that it would possibly be unsafe as well. There's going to be a lot of things that you have to do when seconds matter. All right. It is very, very important that you carry with a round in the chamber because seconds matter, all right? You have to also just understand the mechanics of your firearm, and you have to pull that trigger in order for your gun to go off. And that's why a lot of people do not carry with a round in the chamber is because they're not comfortable. But just know that seconds matter, and you don't want to have to get your gun out of the holster and then now you need to, and sometimes people don't even have like a magazine in it. You have to make sure that your firearm is ready to be utilized because you're using it for defense of your life. So think about it. You're trying to beat the other person before they shoot you. Like, you want to be able to shoot them before they shoot you. But if you got to go through all these steps and get your gun ready, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. All right. So if you don't carry with a round in the chamber, if you have questions on that, feel free to comment below. There's no one that is going to degrade you on this live. There's no one that's going to make you feel stupid, but we just want to make sure that we educate you on why it's extremely important that you carry with a round in your chamber. So if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't know the importance, feel free to comment below, but I can promise you that there will be no one on this live that will be just talking down to you. And I typically carry a firearm that doesn't have a external safety. Hey, Armament and Axis. And like Demont said, training makes someone more comfortable with a gun. And I've had a lot of people that, I sit down with and I explain to them the mechanics of the firearm and the importance of being the first one to engage. I don't want to get shot first. I don't. I want to stop the threat. Two Gun Kitty said, I carry with one in the chamber, but not. Sorry, the plus one is a reliability issue and can cause a jam. Aaron said, I won't even put my safety on anymore. And Aaron said, never understood why people won't carry with one in the chamber. From what I understand, it's just that they're not comfortable. And I have a lot of people that will say they won't carry a gun on their body. And it's just because they're not comfortable. And they're not comfortable, they're not confident. And you would be amazed at how much someone's confidence has to play in this whole firearms and self-protection lifestyle. Because if they're not confident, the bad guy is going to be able to see it on their face, for one. But if they're not confident, they're probably not going to carry their firearm, and they're also not confident with their gun. They're not going to carry it on their body, or they're just not going to carry it at all. There's so many people who are like, I have this gun, I've had it for 5 years, and I've never opened it, or I've never carried it, or whatever it may be. Yes, so Yarn Dragons got her concealed carry holster for me. She said my issues was wrong holster, to be honest, but now I have the right one. So she got her a Miss Conceal Hidden Heat off of my website. So thank you so much for your support. And now she is good to go. Aaron said, train, train, train. Absolutely. Hello, Kind Branch. How are you? Armament said, my thumb rests, on top of my safety as I grip the pistol. So if I'm drawing to fire, the safety comes off, it is being drawn. And that's another reason I'm glad that you said that, Armament and Axis. It's really important for you guys to dry fire in your homes so that you can see what issues you may have. Sometimes it may be the way that you're drawing from your holster. Sometimes it may be the way that you're holding your gun, or sometimes it may be, okay, so this gun, the way that it fits in my hands if I'm doing this, or whatever it may be. You need to make sure that you're dry firing in your home. You need to make sure that your setup is good, because if your setup's not good and you don't know where your stuff is, when you do encounter a threat, you're just going to be all over the place. Sorry. So something else that I want to let you guys know is I definitely want to make sure that if there are any churches out there that are looking for security consultation and or firearms training, sorry guys, I would like to do that. So if you know anyone that may be interested, please point them my way. I think it's very important that we know pretty much the places that we frequent and those places that we go that, you know, people expect for us to have our guard down, and sometimes they just feel like we're more of a soft target than a hard target. And I know there are churches out there that have security teams because these bad guys are targeting churches nowadays. Just like the schools have their security officers now. Well, some of them. I know here where we live, they do have school officers, and that's something that I want to do more of. So when it comes to churches that are looking for security consultations or firearms training, I'm here for it. I would love to do it, so please point them my way. And another thing I want to share with you is I want you to be very well versed in the laws in your state. I said it earlier, but I think it's really important because, say, here in Florida, if it is not a facility that is prohibited by law, if it's not a facility that is prohibited by the state and it is like a private establishment and they have to where you cannot carry in their facility, you can still carry because it's not prohibited by law, right? And I'm very, very big on no one should know that you're carrying concealed, right? And if these places are like, well, you can't carry concealed in here, why do they know that you're carrying? Why? So if you're carrying, please just be one of those individuals that you're not really announcing that you're carrying. If you open carry, then obviously people are going to know that you're carrying. But if you're concealed carrying and you're going into these establishments that it isn't prohibited by your state to carry, then if it's a private establishment and you can carry there, carry there. Thank you, young dragons. No one knows. And if a situation were to occur and you were to stop a threat, pretty sure they're going to be excited. That's the last thing that they want to deal with. Because I know right now Walmart is like, why? That's the last thing that they want to deal with. All right, so if you're watching this video, I would love for you to hit the thumbs up button. And so Armament said, if I go to church, I'm carrying. JR, thumbs up. And Young Dragon says, surprise. And I mean, another thing is you don't want to stick out. For me, when I carry, I don't really stick out. I'm not wearing like my 5'11" pants and, you know, polo. The only time I really dress like that is when I'm going to go teach a class. So if you're carrying, try to blend in, because there's certain people that bad guys target, and if you're fitting in, they're probably not going to think twice about if you're going to have a firearm, right? And then you're going to catch them by surprise. So Special K said, any tips on how to conceal carry with tactical fat? Can you school me on what tactical fat is? I don't want to make any assumptions. And something else that, I mean, I've had people that assume that I am defenseless, and they're absolutely like about to mess with the wrong one. So just try to blend in with others, but always have a means to protect yourself. And if you don't have a means to protect yourself, just be super aware of your surroundings so that you can protect yourself. Um, so we have 31 thumbs up. Let's see if we can get to 35. Oh, Young Dragon said, yes, she does look beautiful. No one knows she's packing. Thank you. Suit and tire. All right, so I think Young Dragon said that we got to 35. I just really want to stress the importance. So sometimes my husband says I get on a soapbox with you guys. I really feel like I do sometimes, but I really felt like tonight this was really, really important for you guys to know how important this is. Like, this is literally life or death, right? So I wanted to come to you guys and talk about some things, and I try to liven it up a bit, but there's really, I mean, sometimes you just got to be honest, and there ain't no way I can liven some of these things up. It's like there are bad guys out there and they're trying to hurt you. And it doesn't matter like where you are, where you live. Please don't get a false sense of security. You can live in the nicest of neighborhoods, right, where no crime happens, right? But people are targeting the nice neighborhoods. Like, they're not going to the ghettos and or the broke down houses, and they're like, "Ooh, let me see what goodies they have in here." They're going to the places that they feel like those people have really nice houses, right? So make sure that you keep your head in the game at all times when you're out and about. Do not be out on your phone, right? Not paying attention, because that is making you a soft target. People are thinking that you're not paying attention, and these bad guys are looking for people like that, all right? Another thing is, we talked about medical. There is medical things out there that you should have with you at all times. If you don't have a bag, you need to have a bag. We will definitely do some videos on bags. What I will tell you is, you guys know how my videos are. When it comes to putting together a video like that, it ain't happening next week. But if it does, I will definitely try my best to get it done. All right, guys. We talked about tourniquets. If you guys are looking for tourniquets, I can definitely get a link together to get a good company out there for you. There's also the Quick Clot Combat Gauze. And we talked about the Israeli bandage. These are just a couple things. We'll definitely make sure that we get more together for you. Armin and Axis said, what about the Avery and Lola show? Lola is like avoiding me, so we can't do the Lola and the Avery and Lola show. Lola won't do the show. People who don't have a six-pack, bare belly, or just love food. That's very important for us to talk about as well. I want to say maybe 3 lives ago, we talked about fitness and firearms. I don't know if you saw, but the Ohio shooting, there was so many people who were running. And think about it, like, you may have to run. I mean, you saw how many people were running. So that needs to be something that you can do. You need to be able to run. There were people running, there were people falling, there were people shielding other people. So I want you to know how important it is for you to be able to be healthy, right? And then another thing is, you need to be able to effectively carry your firearm. Sometimes when you have tactical fat, you have to improvise, right? I love food. Those of you who know me know I love me some food. In particular, I love ice cream. So sometimes you just got to kind of check yourself and go, okay, enough ice cream, Avery. You got to get your life back together. I had that exact conversation with myself today because I've had too much ice cream recently. I see now it can be a white or black or Hispanic or Jewish or whatever event. These mass shootings will continue. Yes, Deb. So, Deb, thank you so much for saying that you love my channel. I really appreciate your support. That's something really important that she just said, that no one is exempt. Like they're out here and they're crazy and they're just filled with hate. So we have to make sure that we're protecting ourselves against people like that. Grinder, hey, thanks for joining. Yeah, way too much hate. Deb said, Armand, you ain't lying. This country is crazy with mass shootings. So another thing that I'm glad that you said that. Yeah, there may be mass shootings, but in other countries, they are dealing with other things as well. So yeah, we're dealing with shootings, but people are dying other ways in other countries. And I think we have to really think about those types of things, because they can take guns away all day, every day, right? But bad people will still find another way to hurt us. CNN just posted, armed man was arrested at a Missouri Walmart, police say. Yep, you could stab people, poison people, run people over. But I just want you to realize, like, guns, like, we can all own firearms, right? And if you can own a firearm, then you can protect yourself. But giving up your firearms, now you're putting your protection in someone else's hands. All right, let's see here. All right, we're at 38 thumbs up. I wonder if we can get to 40. There are very, very many sick people out here. But the very important thing that I want to cover tonight is I want you guys to make sure that you can properly defend yourself and your family. And that's definitely what we're here for. If you know of anyone who needs training, you can definitely point them my way. I'm located in Tampa, Florida, but I do travel to other places. This is life or death. It's very important. I've said it a couple times because it's very, very important. You don't have to look a certain way to protect yourself. There's not one race, religion, or whatever that's only authorized to protect themselves. Each and every one of us have that right, and we need to execute that right. And another thing to be mindful of is, these guns are going to start going up in prices. Like, the prices were really, really good there for a bit, right? But now the prices are starting to go up more because supply and demand, right? So I really advocate for each person to have at least one pistol and at least one rifle. It is very, very important to have I guess you can call it a short game and a long game. If ish were to hit the fan, how are you going to protect yourself? And having a handgun, you can do some damage, but I want to be able to do more damage if I need to. Missouri is a constitutional carry state, so it's very easy to exercise your 2A rights. So with that being said, I feel like the people who are able to exercise their constitutional right a lot easier, they have to make sure that they still get the education on it, because that's very important. Sorry. They have to make sure that they learn that other part of it, because that's what will get you in trouble. All right. So are you guys ready to do a giveaway? Give me 1 second, guys. Thank you. Giveaway. So this giveaway is going to be for those of you who are on the live. So Special K said, in the Philippines, guns are a privilege and not a right. When they had a gun ban due to election month, gun deaths doubled. Wow. Marv said, well, cops just arrested a man at Immigrant Center, El Paso. Today, loaded gun, burnishing knife. JR said rifle, shotgun, and a pistol. Yes. All right, so if you want to do a giveaway, make sure that you have hit that thumbs up button and we can get this party started. So the giveaway, so there's going to be 2 giveaways. I'm going to do a giveaway for you that are watching the live right now. And then there will be another giveaway for once this video is over, you guys will be able to enter, all right? So it's giveaway time. All right, so tonight's live giveaway will be a sticker pack. I don't know if you guys like stickers, but I don't know if you guys like stickers, but I like stickers. I put them on everything. You can put these stickers on your gun case. You can put them on whatever you want to, but we are doing a sticker pack. So I will show you guys really quick the stickers. I will show you, but if you want to be entered to win these stickers, all you have to do is type in giveaway in the comments below. Just type in giveaway, all right, to be entered. So I'm going to show you guys, but you guys can go ahead and start typing giveaway right now. So this is a Breakthrough Clean sticker, CMC, Glock, another CMC, Geisley, one of my favorite companies, Palmetto, another one of, this is probably my most favorite company, Skip Tactical Solutions, Enforce, and another Glock. All right, so go ahead and continue to enter for that giveaway. But that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 stickers. I will give you guys another minute to enter. And let me know what you guys want the next live chat to be about. Again, if you're watching this video, be sure to enter for the giveaway. There's normally not a lot of people who enter the giveaways. Not sure why. I'm always down to get something for free. Sometimes I just want to enter these giveaways myself, but I can't. And whoever wins this giveaway, all you have to do is send me a message on my Facebook, or you can send me a message to my business email, which is skipstacticalsolutions@gmail.com, with your name and your address, and I get these shipped out. There are quite a few people on the live, so if you have, not quite a few people, quite a few people on this live that have won a giveaway before. If you have won a giveaway with us before, please type below that you have won something and let people know that I actually follow up and I ship these things out. Because sometimes, have you guys ever heard of like people doing giveaways and you're like, but did they win anything? Like, who ever won? Yeah, I definitely ship my stuff out. Yep, all you have to do is type in giveaway to enter. It's just that easy. And I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreon supporters. I love and appreciate each and every one of you for supporting me through Patreon. Right now, I think we're up to like $50 a month through Patreon. I really appreciate you guys because that helps out way more than you guys will ever know it. Dang, Yarn Dragons, you don't win a lot. All right, so let me go ahead and pick the winner for this giveaway. Oh, you guys are so sweet. So really quick, I do have a Patreon page. My Patreon is patreon.com/Skips Tactical Solutions. And there's about 4 or 5 different tiers, I think. And I also have a podcast. My podcast is called Skips Tactical Solutions. You can find that in all your podcast players. If you were to check, say, my last video that I put out, you will see in the description all of the channels and all of my links, and you can join my email list. But you guys, I do appreciate all the support, and even just the support that you guys are giving me by showing up here each and every Thursday. I do appreciate that. My Facebook page is facebook.com/Skips Tactical Solutions. And that's probably going to be the #1 place that you want to make sure that you're following me is my Facebook page and my Facebook group. Because my Facebook group, you know that you're going to see every single thing that I put in there just by being in that group and interacting in the group. And then the Facebook page, I can post links to, say, when it comes to Palmetto, when it comes to any of these companies that have sales, it's there. I can post it really quick. I really can't post those types of things on Instagram, but my Facebook page and my Facebook group is called Skips Tactical Solutions Family. It is a closed Facebook group, so you do have to request to enter. So I post a lot of links when it comes to sales because I'm all about getting you guys things at really good prices, and I will probably be posting a good bit of things here coming up because I can see that some of these things are starting to go up in their price, and you need to get your hands on these things while the prices are a little low. So you need to start stocking up on your ammo. You need to purchase a handgun or a long gun if you're looking to do that. But I think it's really important that make sure that you're on my Facebook page and then when you're there, just make sure that you interact, because if you don't interact, then you're not going to see the posts. That stupid algorithm. So sorry. I told you guys that and then I forgot about posting the person that won the giveaway. No, Armament, you did not give me anything at NRA. All right, guys, so the winner of this giveaway is Tander315. Tander, Tander 315. All right. So make sure that you shoot me a message, but it's okay if you didn't win because I got something for you. So if you did not win, what I have for you is once this video is over, I need for you to comment. So I mess this up every single video. All you have to do is in the comment section of the normal video, all I need you to do is comment giveaway. Not here in this live chat, but once this video is over, this video is going to upload to YouTube, and under the description will be comments. So I will be giving away a Primary Arms hat and a Primary Arms patch, all right? Primary Arms hat and patch. All you have to do is once this video is over, I need you to go to the comment section and type in giveaway below, all right? So don't do it here in here. I want you to make sure that you do it in the comment section of the normal video, all right? So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure that once this video is over that you just comment giveaway so that you can win this hat and a Primary patch to go with it, all right? So thank you so much for tuning in. I will see each and every one of you next Thursday for Talk to Me Thursday right here, 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you are not following me on Facebook, Instagram, my Patreon, or my podcast, please head over there and do it right now. I love each and every one of you, and I want you to have a happy and safe weekend. Have a good weekend, guys.